Hello and welcome to the EFL Trophy final preview show from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage and with me as always is Mr. Daniel Cody. It's League One versus League Two. It's Rotherham United versus Sutton United. Rotherham got to the final by beating Hartlepool on penalties and Sutton United got through by beating Wigan on penalties. Let's start with the Sutton United, their first ever appearance in the competition, the first ever season in the Football League, and they made it to the final.
Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement, isn't it? We almost had two bits of history because the final, as you mentioned with those semis, could have been the top two of League One or the two clubs that came up from the National League last year. And that would have been a first, the latter of those. But look, both went to penalties. It was a very tight one. And Sutton, it's a magnificent moment for them. They're still obviously in that playoff hunt in League Two. I know they've dropped off recently, but they're only 2 points off the playoffs. They're right in that promotion mix. They've had a fabulous first year in the Football League. And this is just that crowning moment. I'm really pleased for them because they're a well-run club. They've done things the right way. And they've had a pretty good season on the pitch as well.
Yeah, currently in 10th in League Two, 61 points, which is more than enough to be safe. They're very close to the player. Only 2 points outside the players. Very good achievement so far from them. Not far to travel as well, considering they are South London and Wembley's North London. Hopefully the fans will be there in good numbers. But is this a unnecessary distraction? And it'd probably be the same for Robin as well. Is this game an unnecessary distraction or a nice distraction considering the focus on the league?
Well, it's a good point you make, actually, because both of these sides are now on their worst run of the season in the league. They've only won 1 in 5 each. Obviously, for Rotherham, that's probably more pertinent because they're chasing a promotion back to the Championship at the first attempt. But for Sutton, there was a real prospect of them getting promotion. They were up in third for a while. It is just drifting away now. But I think for Sutton, it's probably a more welcome distraction in terms of the day, the occasion. It's something that's less likely to happen to them again. Rotherham have been at Wembley for playoff finals before in recent years. So definitely a better distraction for Sutton and less to lose from Sutton's point of view in the league. They were probably happy to be safe at the start of the year and anything added is a bonus. They're a really good side going forward. They're going to carry a threat in this game, but defensively, there are some worries from recent weeks.
Yeah, because the season the pitch was a 4G pitch. They've had to convert that into grass, which is a stupid rule by the FA standards and the EFL standards. And you have to give them a lot of credit. Yeah,
they've developed brilliantly. They've carried on their form. They've played in the same way. And I know it means they've conceded a few, but as we mentioned, they've been a real threat going forward. They're the third highest scorers in League Two. I know there's a little bit on this trophy run. We were discussing it off camera before, the fact that after the group stages up to the Wigan semi-final, they'd only played League Two sides and bottom half League Two sides. So the draw had worked out relatively fortunately for them there. But look, you can't begrudge the achievement. They've had a brilliant season in both the league and the cup. They got past Wigan, which is one of the hardest ties you could have got in the semi-final. And look, if they end up victorious on Sunday, having beaten the top two in League One, I don't think anyone can argue with them lifting the trophy, considering the group they had as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get on to Rotherham, their League One opponents, currently top of League One. We've covered Rotherham quite a lot last season. They were in the Championship when we done the predictions. Them being top of the table at the moment doesn't surprise us, but the dip in form does surprise us.
Yeah, and this is where it comes back to your question about distraction, isn't it? I think for Rotherham, you could argue it's an unwelcome one. To be fair, I watched the semi-final against Hartlepool on TV. The Hartlepool keeper had the best second half I've seen in a million years. It was unbelievable, and he obviously just snuck through in the end. But there's no doubt it has affected their league form. They've had some tough games along the way. They have had a couple of penalty wins on the way. Both sides have the semi-final. Rotherham then beat Port Vale in the last 16 round, the same one in which Sutton had penalties too. But they're at real risk of losing their promotion now. MK Dons are in the form of their life, 4 points behind them. I know that doesn't please you. Wigan are 1 point behind with games in hand, so the title's no longer in their hands either. I think they'll probably be quite glad they're playing Sutton rather than Wigan in the final, to be brutally honest, with respect. But the bread and butter for Rotherham is getting back to the Championship at the first time of asking. And for that, I make this game more important to Sutton, and it's putting the doubt in me on the result.
Well, we've looked at previous finals. League One played League Two, and League Two teams have come out on top. Salford very recently, they beat Portsmouth. in the 2020 final, which was in 2021. I remember Luton, we were there for Luton. They were currently in League Two, the bottom of League Two with that 30-point deduction. They beat Scunthorpe, who were challenging for players. And in the end, Scunthorpe did go up that season. So it's not a foregone conclusion that the team that's highest in the higher league will win the game.
No. And as you mentioned, it's a very local one for Sutton, but it's a big travel for Rotherham. It's a ground they've played at before a few times. So are the fans going to be as excited for it? You'd like to hope so for a cup final, but maybe for them, the promotion's bigger as well. It does make it a bit of a no-win situation for Rotherham. Top of League One, everyone's going to expect them to produce a steamrolling. And as you say, it never works out like that. The one thing you've got to say for Rotherham is they've got a virtually impenetrable defence. They've been absolutely rock solid all season, only letting 25 goals in 39 league games. They've been solid defensively up to the semi-final in the EFL Trophy as well, where they were a bit poor against Hartlepool. It's a great attack via great defence. It really bodes well. It should be a brilliant game. And look, Rotherham are going to be favourites, but it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the pressure, because when it's come to the promotion push in recent weeks, it's been less than ideal.
Well, the final is at Wembley Stadium. It's going to be live on Sky Sports. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Who are you going for?
I don't know. This is really difficult because both teams got through their group with 9 points each. They won all their games. They're both unbeaten in the competition. So it makes it a very difficult one to judge. It's going to be a tight game. We've mentioned all the reasons for that. It's not going to be that one side just runs away with it. Sutton will concede goals, but will they be able to score? Because they're great going forward. I'm going to go for Rotherham to edge it by 2-1, because I just think they've got too much superior quality not to come out on top. But look, they've beaten Wigan. There's no reason they can't beat Rotherham Sutton. But more importantly, what a day out for the football club. And hopefully both can get back to the promotion push.
Sutton have done very, very well. No one expected them. I think I tipped them to be finished bottom this season, which has slapped me in the face. And get a credit, and a lot of credit goes to Sutton. Really done well. Rotherham, we can't expect this from Rotherham. I don't know. This could be a really tight game. I'm going to go for Rotherham to win it on penalties. I hope this is a great game for the neutral. Please go and watch the game. I know there's other games going on at the time. I know there's Premier League games. I know there's a Rangers versus Celtic game before this game, but please go and watch this game, because it doesn't matter. It matters to Rotherham and Sutton, but if you're neutral, if you love your EFL football, go and watch this, because mostly these cup finals are really, really good. And that is our EFL Trophy final preview from the Honest Football Podcast. Do you agree with what we said or disagree with what we said? Let us know in the comments and give your prediction. Who is going to win the final? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Honest Football Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter at Honest Football 3. And we'll see you next time.